welcome into the Columbus Lions Coaches Show. Week 4 already upon us. Josh Pate alongside head coach Jason Gibson. We've got a big game tonight. We've got cancer awareness tonight. We've got a big opponent in town tonight, so a lot to talk about. But before we get to tonight, I haven't been able to speak to you really since week 1 and an 86-0 win. You went on to blow out Central Florida as well, now coming off the bye week. Let's first talk about week 1, 86-0 against Georgia, or as I like to call them, just Albany.
Yeah, wow. The 86 points wasn't the thing that stood out. The 0 is what stood out. I mean, for arena football to get 0, I think they fired their coach that night after the game. It's just part of it. But, you know, it was weird. Now, I talked with their owner after the game, and he actually came up to me and said, you know what, thank you. And I was kind of taken back. What do you mean thank you? And he said, because it showed my guys and my staff what a professional team is and where we need to be. And he's, great guy, but great performance all the way around. And I don't know, I was just in awe.
When you are in the middle of a game like that, and you're talking, this thing was out of reach early second quarter, but then you go into halftime. What's halftime like for a game like that?
You'd be surprised. People ask me that all week, and it's always, and we've touched about it, it's always about getting the film, doing your job, and being accountable for that play. I don't care what the score is. If you get complacent, if you get soft, if you start joking around and having fun, a couple things happen. One, you start playing to the level that you're playing against. 2, you get hurt. And that's one of the things. You have to play as fast as you can, as hard as you can, until that clock hits 0. That's why I wasn't trying to kneel the ball out, but I wasn't trying to score 150 either, but we're there to play football. We're there to entertain the fans. I mean, that's what it is. And so that's what we wanted to do.
So you had a huge win week 1. If there were any doubts about how this team could perform on the road, those were silenced a few days later down in Central Florida, another huge win against the Jaguars.
Yeah, that game, I tell you what, you talk about complacency. It kind of sank in about fourth quarter because it was at one point, it was 66-12. And the motivational speeches that I was pushing, I mean, they were buying it, and they buy into it. But at some point late in that fourth, we just were kind of like, let's just get out of Dodge. Let's just get home. We gave a bunch of late touchdowns towards the end. I think the final was 90-42. Yeah. Great game. But it's weird as a coach. I actually watched the film. We played worse than we did the game against Georgia. And I was actually disappointed. There was a lot of things we did fundamentally sound. And you say, how can you do that? And you win 90-42, but that's Columbus. That's what we do. It was just really some fundamentally sound things we did wrong that I was kind of shocked. That showed kind of taking your foot off the gas a little bit, and it showed in film.
What did you want to clean up during the bye week?
Alignment and assignment. I've talked about that since day one. I've learned it as a coach a couple years ago. If you're in the right place, and if you can align up right, and know your assignment, the rest takes care of itself. And we didn't do that against Central Florida, regardless of the score. We had missed tackles, which we hadn't had. We had receivers lining up wrong. We were throwing poor passes. Just a lot of little fundamental mistakes that a good team doesn't make. And so that's what we cleaned up this week, and I think we'll see a good showing tonight.
A lot of redundancy here in the elite defensive player and regular players of the week. First up, the elite defensive player of the game, both week 1 and week 2, as you see on the screen here, has been Larry Edwards. Heck of a performance both weeks.
Larry's lights out. When I watch the film, to watch it live, you think, wow, he's having a great game. But then turn around and watch the film and see what he's doing and the havoc he's causing. Nobody knows this, but in week 2, first of all, he was thrown up before the game. He was in the locker room. We had towels on him, blankets on him, feeding him with fluid. And it was a game-time decision if he was even going to play in the game. And ultimately, the medical staff said he would be okay, but we had to monitor him. Then he gets in the game, and he dislocates his finger, and that thing's 90 degrees going the other way. And this guy comes out there, continues to just wreak havoc. He's awesome.
He seems like a guy that it doesn't take long watching a game to realize galvanizes the rest of that defense. He's the guy, absolutely, that a lot of guys on that defensive side look to basically for everything.
If he wants to change the game, he can change. He is a guy, and I tell this to my players, why am I not playing? Why am I getting released? Some guys ask that. Do you make me say wow? If you can do that, then you need to be on that field. Larry makes you say wow.
You want to talk about wow, some offensive numbers that will pop the eyes. Midas Player of the Week, both week 1 and week 2, has been Michael Reeve. Put up huge numbers in week 1, 3 touchdown catches included, and then went and caught 5 more in week 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mike's a great story. Mike's the story of a guy who toughed it out on the practice roster all of last year, never saw the field till the end of the season, and then he comes onto the field this year. He knew he was going to be the guy, and he still came in and worked hard and put up 8 touchdowns in 2 games, and he dropped a couple. That's what's amazing. He dropped a couple touchdowns that maybe he could have had.
When you call plays in a game, is it system? Is it game plan? We're going to go with this, or does a guy having a hot hand seriously impact the way that you call plays?
It's all about matchups. It's just matchups. I look at I don't go in there and say, okay, I have to run this play because this is my play. This is what I like to do. I could care less. I figure out a way to get whoever I need to get in motion to match up on whatever DB they have. And Michael Reeve and Byron Dickerson and John Harris and Jarmon Fortson and Chris and Kyle Griswood, all those guys have certain traits, and I match them up to different DBs on the field. That's their weakness, and that's what we watch film for, and that's what we do. And Mike's strength is he's 6'8".
Got a lot more to get to with head coach Jason Gibson, and coming up, our rookie spotlight with Zach Velasquez. Got a lot to get to. Got a big game coming up tonight. We'll be right back. It is the Columbus Lions Coaches Show with head coach Jason Gibson.
Chiropractic care from Broadwin & Associates can unlock your body's natural healing process. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, a healthier life, the reduction of pain, no more disc problems or sciatica, less stress on your body, no need for medicine, epidurals, or even surgery, and the ability to live your life.
With almost 500,000 patient visits over the last 34 years, don't just take my word for it, ask a friend.
Call Dr. J. Broadwin & Associates today.
Getting cared for at a cancer and research treatment center with the latest technology is a good thing. Getting cared for in the same city where you and your loved ones live, well, that's simply better. The region's only cancer and research center, the John B. Amos Cancer Center, is right where you need it, with compassionate care that helps patients finish treatment and get back to the place that matters most, home. Columbus Regional Health, simply better care.
Back into the Columbus Lions Coaches Show. I'm Josh Pate, head coach Jason Gibson, out of the studio momentarily, doing our rookie spotlight here. Joining us this week is linebacker Zach Velasquez. Jack, happy to have you with us, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, the first 2 games of the season, the offense has been the focal point, but defensively, been 2 very good efforts as well, including a shutout in week 1. So far, probably still trying to get your bearings about you a little bit here, but you're now a Columbus Lion through the first 2 weeks. Give me your impressions overall of the team, the league. I mean, what have your thoughts been?
It's been nothing but great, nothing but impressive just from a player standpoint. My first year being here, it's been just an awesome experience. My rookie year being down here in Columbus, I think we got a great squad. Like you said, a powerful offense. I think our defense is starting to click. We got a ways to go, but we're happy with where we're at, but definitely not satisfied.
I know at some levels, you talk to various coaches, and they talk about early on in the season hoping defense can carry the water until offense catches up. That's obviously not been an issue with this team. What kind of blessing is it to go into a game as a linebacker, defensive player, knowing you're going to get a ton of points scored for you?
Right. It's huge because, you know, they're going to be airing the ball out. I mean, arena's pass-based as it is, but, you know, they got to air it out. So me as a jack linebacker, I can cheat more towards coverage in that aspect because I know our offense is going to be putting up points, and other teams are going to have to come out slinging if they want to compete.
You're playing in the South now, indoors, so weather doesn't necessarily matter, but you played your college ball well up north. Where did you come from?
Yes, sir. I'm from Wisconsin. I went to school, University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point, D3 school up in Wisconsin. So cold weather up there, a lot colder than it is here for sure.
You also went to, I know, at least one mini camp where, I mean, I don't think the temperatures were necessarily ideal there either.
Right. Yeah, I was in mini camp with the Minnesota Vikings last summer. So yeah.
Now, this is a question that I always ask anyone that plays the indoor game. You grew up Pee Wee, high school, college. You've played 11-man ball. You transitioned to the 8-man game. For you, a linebacker, I asked a receiver this, I've asked quarterbacks this, but as a defensive player, what's the biggest adjustment there?
It's playing fast. Things are happening a lot quicker. It's a quicker game. You got to react a lot quicker. So for me, it's just not thinking and just going out there and letting my reactions, letting all my training take over, and just play fast is what it comes down to.
Got about 30 seconds here. Another question I like to ask sometimes. Aside from the mirror, give me some teammates you've been the most impressed with from your brief time so far here in Columbus.
They're all impressive, honestly. We got a lot of great, phenomenal athletes, and you wonder how they're still playing arena and they're not in the NFL. But just to name a few, I mean, you got Mike Reeve, who's got, 8 touchdowns, I think, through 2 games here. Casey's obviously Rookie of the Year quarterback coming back. He's been impressive to watch. Just defensively, we got veterans like Rowe, Dame, safeties, leading the whole world in picks. I think he's got 150,000.
Yeah, it's triple digits.
interceptions.
Safe to say triple digits. There you go.
But we have a ton of great athletes. It's just awesome playing with the guys. Just being surrounded by phenomenal athletes and just flying around with those guys.
But you did firstly say everyone's impressive, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you answer a question. For everyone who comes on the show in the future, that's how you answer. Zach Vilafsky, your linebacker, your rookie spotlight this week. Let's take you back, though. The first week of the season opener, the Georgia Firebirds were in town. Let's give you a sneak peek of what it was like before that game down on the field.
Hey, first game, man. First game. Everybody's kind of, what am I doing? What am I doing? Where do I go? Yeah! Wright College, left 31 sail. So every time we start a game, we do these drills to start, like we warm it up, you know what I mean? Left, 51 stack Z post, yeah. Left 51 stack Z post, Mason next play, I'll switch it out. Byron next play. Hey, field goal, Tyler, field goal next play. Let's go, put them on, let's go. Hey, I looked there, I thought you were Larry. I saw the dreads, I was like, I thought I was talking to Larry. I'll take care of my end, I promise you that. If you have a problem, you come to me, and I'll handle my guys all the way. Hurry up, 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we'll switch it out, press for time. First game, be hard to get them all out of the locker room,
And welcome back into the Columbus Lions Coaches Show alongside, once again, head coach Jason Gibson here. Week 1, 86-point win. Don't know that I've ever seen that. Maybe you have. We ran out of things to talk about up in the booth, quite frankly. That was a good thing, though. But now we're in week 4. That seems like forever ago. You're 2-0 now. You come off the bye week, and I'm sure a lot of roster moves have happened since then, maybe even since the last time we saw you guys play.
That's just part of the game. What people don't realize is every Monday, you have to bring in more players to upgrade. It's not like high school or college where the players have what you have. You have to constantly bring in more players, and there's always somebody really good out there. And past week was no different. The first was picking up 3 players off our championship team. One was Lindsey Wolf, the kicker, which is a huge pickup for us. Lindsey accounted for a lot of points throughout last season. The next was kind of a shock, was Kendrick Washington. I didn't think we were going to get him back. He was a key factor in our D-line last year out of Florida A&M. He went to the Tampa Bay Storm, and they released him on recallable reassignment. He called me up and said, I can be here on Monday. You got a spot for me. I'm like, of course. And then the third one was Darren Daniel. Darren's been playing basketball at CSU. He was our backup quarterback, wide receiver out of Central. And that was a huge pickup for us. So there's been a lot of roster moves going forward, and it's just a constant part of the game.
You talked about player personnel. You basically get an update every Monday. You know, in the NFL game, in Major League Baseball, I can sit in my cubicle in my office here, and I can look at their waiver wires, and I can know who's a free agent, who's available. At your level, though, where do you go? I mean, how do you know who's available? What's the process like there?
Well, there's a coaching login that we see the transactions that go through. It's a private login just for the coaches in the league. So we can see the transactions, who's been released, who hasn't been released. But a lot of times it's agents calling with guys that got cut from the NFL or guys get cut from the CFL, and they have to stay on the field. And so, you know, we may have a really good team, but all of a sudden on a Monday I get a phone call that I've got a phenomenal receiver that just got released by the Bears, for example.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to look at him, you know, and if he's not better than what I have, then that's okay.
I know a lot of people may look at a couple of blowout wins and expect, oh, maybe complacency sets in. But for individual players, when they know it's a job review week to week, I mean,
Right.
you're auditioning week to week, I would imagine for a lot of these guys, it's so competitive and so cutthroat, just the nature of the business, there is no room for complacency regardless of how big the wins are.
They're not, because ultimately the goal for Columbus to me obviously is to win championships. I get that, okay? But in the bottom line is for these players, they have to get film and be on film. And even when I watch film and evaluate players, you know, the first time I saw, you know, for example, when I saw Zach's film, you know, I didn't care if it was Division III. I didn't even look at who he was playing against. I didn't care. I knew what I was looking for by, you know, his movement, his steps, you know, the ball touching his hands, his explosion out of the breaks, all that little stuff that scouts look for. Not necessarily does it matter if you win or you lost. These players have to get that. So as far as complacency sitting in, you got to figure start with tonight. You know, they're undefeated, and then the next 2 weeks, I mean, the next 3 games at home, the teams are combined 8-0. So, you know, it's going to be a little difficult here going around.
Fascinating process. Nice peek behind the curtain there. We'll be back with much more and a special guest. It is the Columbus Lions Coaches Show with head coach Jason Gibson. Stay with us.
Chiropractic care from Broadwin & Associates can unlock your body's natural healing process. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, a healthier life, the reduction of pain, no more disc problems or sciatica, less stress on your body, no need for medicine, epidurals, or even surgery, and the ability to live your life.
With almost 500,000 patient visits over the last 34 years, don't just take my word for it, ask a friend.
Call Dr. Jay Broadwin and Associates today.
Getting cared for at a cancer and research treatment center with the latest technology is a good thing. Getting cared for in the same city where you and your loved ones live? Well, that's simply better. The region's only cancer and research center, the John B. Amos Cancer Center, is right where you need it, with compassionate care that helps patients finish treatment and get back to the place that matters most, home. Columbus Regional Health, simply better care.
It was a busy night of sports in the Fountain City. I couldn't help but wonder, how will I cover them all?
Oh, hey, Josh, you want to grab some coffee with me?
How many times do I have to tell you it's the Arrow? I couldn't help but wonder, how will I cover them all? Games at Carver, Smith Station, in Harris County.
Josh, are you acting like the Arrow again?
I'm acting like the Arrow because I am the Arrow, Jenna. To them, I'm just a sports anchor, but to the rest of the Fountain City, I'm the Arrow.
Back in Columbus Lions Coaches Show alongside head coach Jason Gibson. I'm Josh Pate. Joining us now on the set, though, in advance of Cancer Awareness Night tonight down at the Civic Center is Nancy Price. Now, you're the Associate Director of Clinical Research and Supportive Care Services at John B. Amos Cancer Center. It's a very long title. Sounds like a very important role.
It is. We're excited. We're the region's only comprehensive cancer program, and that simply means that we not only provide excellent cancer care chemotherapy and radiation to our patients, but we also provide supportive care services. And that's clinical trials, that's patient navigation, that's nutrition, that entails case management, and it also includes our outreach program. We highlight cancer awareness monthly, and each cancer is represented by a color. So last month was colorectal cancer, and we did a big program in our community surrounding that.
I know that we have the pink football here on set. Now, even I know that's attributed to breast cancer. I see it in sporting events all the time. But you just mentioned some of the other colors, and I didn't necessarily know this, but there are several colors attributed to different forms of cancer. Tell me a little bit about that.
That's right. One thing we're doing at our cancer center is if you ride by at night, you may see lights on the west stairwell. And what we try to do is make each month an awareness month for those cancers. This month is esophageal, it's testicular, and head and neck. So you'll see those colors reflected in the lighting on the west stairwell. So each cancer does have a specific color and a month that it's represented by.
Now, you were telling me people that go through your care, patients that you have there at John B. Amos, when they get the all clear, when they're cancer-free, they get to do something very special. I assume everyone there looks forward to hopefully doing one day. What is that?
We're really excited about it. We offer 2 Hope Bells in our center. One is located in our radiation department, one is in our infusion suite. When the patients finish their treatment, they're allowed to gather their friends and family around, the doctors and the staff come around, and we all celebrate when the patient rings the bell. That means that their completion of treatment has finally come for them. So it's a very exciting time.
I would imagine pretty emotional.
It's very emotional, very emotional.
So tonight is Cancer Awareness Night. Head coach Jason Gibson here as well. What can we expect from this game? I know a lot of special people will be in attendance.
A win, so
Yes.
that's the first thing. But you know, we partnered up with Aflac. This is our 5th or 6th year doing this game, just to kind of raise awareness. We have an awesome pink and blue jersey tonight that we're going to auction off after the game. 100% of the proceeds are going back to John B. Amos Cancer Center. We've got a lot of their employees coming tonight. We have 4 special honorary captains from John B. Amos Cancer Center, and hopefully it'll be good luck. We'll make sure they can help us get us a win. And so there's a lot of activities going on tonight for this game, just to kind of help raise awareness.
Nancy, before we wrap up here, you know, I know a lot of people assume that when you're dealing with various forms of cancer, there's always that misconception, I think, that you have to head elsewhere to get treatment, at Emory in Atlanta, somewhere else. If people here in Columbus know there's world-class treatment here, other people around the area may not necessarily know that, but it's true, is it not?
It is true. We provide excellent care for our patients, and it's also enhanced by the supportive services that we offer. And we're really excited to be offering the same clinical trials that are offered at Emory and other places.
Okay, this is Nancy Price. As I told you, she's the Associate Director of Clinical Research and Supportive Care there at John B. Amos. Hope to see you all down there tonight. I assume we'll see a number of your colleagues and employees down there as well. We'll be back on the other side of the break, but first up, Facebook fan question of the week. Which Columbus Lions player was nicknamed Ruru as a child? If you know the answer, head over to the Facebook page. We'll give you the correct answer on the other side of the break. It is the Columbus Lions Coaches Show with head coach Jason Gibson. We'll be back.
Chiropractic care from Broadwin & Associates can unlock your body's natural healing process. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, a healthier life, the reduction of pain, no more disc problems or sciatica, less stress on your body, no need for medicine, epidurals, or even surgery, and the ability to live your life.
With almost 500,000 patient visits over the last 34 years, don't just take my word for it, ask a friend.
Call Dr. J. Broadwin and Associates today.
Getting cared for at a cancer and research treatment center with the latest technology is a good thing. Getting cared for in the same city where you and your loved ones live, well, that's simply better. The region's only cancer and research center, the John B. Amos Cancer Center, is right where you need it, with compassionate care that helps patients finish treatment and get back to the place that matters most, home. Columbus Regional Health, simply better care.
Have you seen your Columbus Botanical Garden lately? The garden is full of spectacular color with endless varieties of beautiful flowers and plants. Escape into nature with our majestic 1-mile walking trail. Be inspired with educational programs geared towards children and adults. With the recent completion of our 10-year plan, the garden is on the move. So come see what everyone is talking about and be inspired to start your own garden. Columbus Botanical Garden, 3603 Weems Road in Columbus. Admission is complimentary.
How you doing? I'm here to fill you in. Because that's what I do. Don't worry about it, because Wendy's got you covered. Like I say, celebrities, their business is our business. You won't believe what I'm about to tell you. You won't complain if I give you more hot topics, will you? I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm just here to state my case and then go back to Jersey.
Weekday afternoons at 3 on WLTC NBC 38.
Welcome back in alongside head coach Jason Gibson. I am Josh Pate. It is the Columbus Lions Coaches Show. The trivia question going into the break: which Columbus Lions player was nicknamed Ruru growing up? That was linebacker Zach Velasquez. So we offered you a very strong hint during the show. I hope you picked up on that. Obviously, fans very active at the game. If you've been to a Columbus Lions home game, you've seen that. A lot of fan photos, we're about to show some right here, are an indication of that.
Yeah, we got great fans. They come to the games. The John Osbornes, the Josh Blairs. We had a little fan that I met, and that she wanted a game football, and I promised her if she brought a Roar Lions Roar sign, I'd get her one. And I tell you, we showed up that first game, and she's standing right on that front row holding that sign up. So just great fans in Columbus, and we built a reputation. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
We talk pretty much every week that I see about the community involvement aspect and how that's so important to you, so important to the players. Downtown Elementary, you guys were recently there, showing some of that now.
Oh, that was a great experience. Go down there, and all the players got to get behind the server line and serve the kids food, and we kind of sat with them a little bit, and it was kind of ironic. I don't know what I needed a hairnet for, but they made me wear one. So it was fun, and just get out and see the kids. And we try to get out once a week to a different school. So it's a great, really, people say it's great for the kids to see the players. It's good for the players to see the kids, too. It works both ways.
And if you want to request an appearance, by the way, columbuslions.net is the site to go to. Go to the community tab and request an appearance. So about a minute to go here. We've got a lot going on tonight. It's jersey auction night. If you wear a superhero costume tonight, you get in the gate for free. It gets no better than that. The Atlanta Vultures in town, they're undefeated right now.
Right now,
they're undefeated.
Right now, they're undefeated. So it's good for the fans. When the next 3 games we've talked about, I think it's 8-0 combined record. But it'll be a good game tonight. Hopefully, we can make some improvements. But again, we're auctioning off the jerseys after the game. All the money goes to John B. Amos Cancer Center. And then if you wear any kind of superhero's costume to fight cancer, you get a free ticket. So my kids will be dressed up tonight. It'll be a good night.
Let me ask you this before we break: does a Columbus Lions jersey count?
That's a good question.
That is a very good question.
No, it's got to be a superhero's costume.
A lot of revenue on the line there. So
got to be a superhero's costume.
So jersey auctions tonight, superhero costumes tonight. The Atlanta Vultures in town, undefeated, like I said, for now. Gates open at 6 p.m. It is the Columbus Lions Coaches Show. For head coach Jason Gibson, I'm Josh Pate. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you right here next week, and we'll see you tonight.